and it's not happening anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, and after they watch this season, I think everybody's gonna their minds is gonna be blown away, you know?
How do you feel? I know we're not going to talk too much about this upcoming season, but how do you feel kind of going into it? I know we're probably a few months away from the premiere, but, you know, obviously a lot of stuff in the headlines, but how do you feel about going into this season?
Going into it?
Obviously it's filmed, it's done, but like, how do you feel like, you know, that everybody's going to see it in a couple months, knowing what you know about what happened?
It's going to blow your minds away.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
It's very sad. Like, and I think everybody's going to get a true reading of, like, be like, wow, we were like people thought a certain way about me. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to be like, wow, we were so wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think about, like, when you watch the season, you have to have an open mind. Like, I kept my mouth shut a lot, mm-hmm. over 10 years.
And that's why it's good too, like the timing that we started it now, mm-hmm. because we have months and months to really get out there, mm-hmm. and people can see a different side of Teresa before Jersey starts up again. And maybe they have like a different view on it after they see get a glimpse from the podcast of like more depth and who Teresa really is.
Sure. Yeah. And don't forget, my parents were around back then. So I tried to keep the peace for a long time. And now, you know, somebody could only like take so much for so long, mm-hmm. and it's not happening anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, and after they watch this season, I think everybody's their minds is gonna be blown away, you know?
Are you still sad?
Then go right into the wedding special.
Right. Are you still sad about it?
The wedding's, no, I'm totally fine. Totally mm-hmm. fine. Yeah. And it's like, and I think my parents are like, good, like they're with me. They're like, you're good.
Yeah.
And that's why Louis came into my life. You understand? There's always a reason, a reason, a lesson, a blessing. Yes. Because it's like, it's enough. I got taken advantage for so long, for over 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like, I got taken advantage of. And finally, like, look, Louis came into my life. It was like, that's not happening anymore. Mm-hmm. Now, and
now it's happy. And
right. Yeah. Do you feel like almost like a weight is lifted off your shoulders a little bit?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And and like, I think their eyes are gonna, you know, everyone's gonna be like, you know, they're gonna I think they're gonna see the truth. Yeah, like, you know, of everything that's been really happening. You know, it depends how, like, but I think there's no way to edit or do anything. Like, you're gonna just basically say it, you know, because of course editing has a lot to do with it all these years. But I think this time there's like, there's no getting around that, you know?
We got to see a lot more of the Teresa.
I was going to say, Melissa, did you notice a difference in your friend?
I mean, yeah, I think every time I talk to her, it's just not what you expect and not what people expect from watching her on the show and seeing things. It's just, there's just so much more. And I think just with timing of everything, right? Like, timing of us starting, instead of like 6 months ago starting the podcast, we started it now, that we can do it pre-season, get people find out who she is, who I am. You know, we just see everything in a different light. And I think that people are going to really, really, listen to the first 2 episodes. It's awesome. It's an awesome insight into who we are and more than you would just see on a show.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I don't want to just talk about housewives. Like,
of course.
I want to just talk about life and everything. Like, I want guests to call in. Yep. And like, of course, like that's what I mean. Like, I was given this platform for a reason. Mm-hmm. And if I want to help other people that, want to help for me, and, sure they do. Like, so that's what I mean. I was given this for a reason. So I'm going to use it in that way.
No, I know. Like you said, Teresa, we were chatting backstage on Dancing with the Stars. I was so sad to see you go, but now we get to focus on the podcast.
Yeah, so that's why last week, the podcast came out, and then I was like, oh my God, it was hard. I was like, I had to take like time out to do that. But really, I was like, my main focus was Dancing with the Stars. Mm-hmm. So I guess there's a reason for everything. So it's like now, I could focus on my podcast,
Definitely. Let's talk about the podcast. I mean, how did the two of you connect and why did you want to do Namaste Bitches together?
I mean, of course, who doesn't love Teresa? Mm-hmm. But I know her attorney well and had him on my podcast that I had, Side Piece. And so then I was like, yo, I met Teresa at, where did we meet for first? Oh, at Ultimate Girls Trip.
In LA, yeah.
Yeah, so they were doing the Ultimate Girls Trip premiere here in LA. I'm in LA. Mm-hmm. And I went as Cynthia Bailey's date. Nice. And then Teresa and I met for the first time. And then I said, to her attorney, Jim, I'm like, yo, Teresa and I should do a podcast. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're both crazy. I'm the crazy on the LA. She can have the East Coast and then we can unite for Namaste Bitches. And that's kind of how it all started. Like Teresa and I talked a lot in between and met and this and that. But then we finally, it took months.